welcome to the Dillweed Society Film Podcast. My name is Max, and my favorite movie is Marriage Story.
My name is Isabella, and my favorite movie is the 1999 version of Midsummer Night's Dream, the one with Stanley Tucci.
Okay.
It's a good one.
It's been a while since I've seen that one. I gotta rewatch it.
I watched it last night. It's so good.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Shakespeare play, though, so I'm biased.
Favorite adaptation in general, too? Favorite Shakespeare adaptation?
I don't know, because I can't really compare it to a stage play.
I mean, like, movie adaptation, like, you got Romeo and Juliet,
movie. I don't really like Romeo and Juliet as a story.
And then you've got all of the, like, it's an adaptation, but it's not an adaptation, like 10 Things I Hate About You.
No, I hate that movie. 10 Things I Hate About That Movie, how about? Okay, but anyway, today we're talking about Good Luck to You, Leo Grande, which is a new movie. I can give the synopsis for it.
Yeah, please.
It says, Nancy Stokes doesn't know good sex. Whatever it may be, Nancy, a retired school teacher, is pretty sure she's never had it. But she is determined to finally do something about that. She even has a plan. It involves an anonymous hotel room and a young sex worker who calls himself Leo Grande. And I think it's Grand. He's not a member of the Butera family.
He's not related to Frankie and
related
Ariana.
to Miss Ariana. No. You know how her last name is actually pronounced?
Tell me.
Because she's Italian. It's pronounced Grandi.
Grandi.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's like the Grandies, but Grande sounds more lush. Anyway, but no, Leo Grande's fake name, you will find out in the movie. It's not his actual name.
That was a fun reveal.
Yeah. What were your initial thoughts?
I didn't know what I expected coming into this movie. I wasn't sure how it was going to develop, or like if it was going to be a comedy or anything. I thought that it did a really good job of being a character-driven film in a way that I totally didn't expect. Like there's only 3 speaking roles in this film, and one of them only exists for like probably 10 lines at maximum.
Right. Are you talking about the waitress?
The waitress at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't expect it to be so character driven, and I tend to really like movies like that. So I thought it was it exceeded my expectations. What do you think about it?
Yeah, it definitely feels like a pandemic movie because it's all taking place in this one room, and it's 2 people. You know, it's a very isolated cast. And I tend to really like movies like that. I think they're really interesting, and they kind of feel like plays to me because, you know, on a stage you have a very minimal settings that are available to you. The
movie opens with the main character in like a cafe, Leo Grande in a cafe.
Does it?
And there's this song. It does. Do you remember what song is playing?
No. I thought it opened in the hotel room.
It's that song by Childish Gambino from Because the Internet, I think it's from. I think that the opening to this movie was really catchy.
He's like humming,
right,
almost. And it's like a very intimate moment. But it's just him humming like as he's waiting maybe for a bus or something. And it's the back of his head with that yellow beanie that he always plays. I
just love the costume design and the shot composition.
Yeah. Along
with the music choice of the opening scene. I thought that it was it really set the mood well and it made me think throughout the whole movie. Like the costume design in this movie is very limited, but is also I think like really good. Like
it's interesting, yeah.
I like his outfits throughout the movie, especially his outfit at the end, contrasted with the rest of it.
Yeah, I noticed that because he like dresses up for his job.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like he dresses up for his job, but he always wears the exact same clothing, just with different colors or patterns on it.
Yeah.
Like even the latch on his pants is the exact same throughout the different like times that he is on screen.
Right.
They're the exact same shirt, like collarless button-up shirt and slacks, just like different colors and different patterns.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a bold choice to make and like noticeable choice to make, where like it's not just that Leo is wearing these clothes because they look nice. It's like a uniform.
Yeah. For sure, for sure. You can tell, like, he takes his work seriously. But, yeah, the director, Sophie Hyde, she hasn't done a lot of films, which... Oh, the film kind of feels like... Like, I feel like I could do a very in-depth scene analysis of it. That's why I'm saying, like, it feels almost like a student work, but in a good way, because it's so, you know, it's low budget. I think, like, the actors really makes this film what it is. I haven't seen anything that Daryl McCormick is in. I don't think he's been in much.
He's Leo.
Yeah. Each of their performances is so well rehearsed and well thought out.
Yeah, it's tough to tell if it's them or if it's the directing or the writing. I think all of them come together very well in this movie.
Yeah.
Like their performances are so seamless. They just feel like the characters that they are. And maybe it's because I don't know him very well as an actor, and he is the more interesting of the two characters. But Emma Thompson does an incredible job in this role, and I don't know how similar it is to other stuff that she's been in. It's been a while since I've seen her movies.
Yeah, a lot of people are praising her work in this just simply because of how vulnerable she had to be, especially with the nudity scenes. Like, I think a lot of people are discussing, like, the fact that we don't really see that in, like, older actors in movies, especially older women. But I definitely appreciate that that's, like, part of it. That's part of the film, is, like, talking about that. So it was written by a completely different person who's never written anything. Oh, wow, this is their first. But I was reading a little bit of the IMDb trivia, and it said that the actors Daryl and Emma, like, worked really closely with one another. And it said they did not require an intimacy coordinator, which I thought was a little strange considering, but they give a quote that just says, "We thought if we really focused on getting to know one another and being comfortable with one another, that we'd be able to do all the work ourselves." And I'm like, well, you should also have an intimacy coordinator. Like, that feels a little bit like, but, you know, good for them.
It's a bit like, we love each other so much we don't need a prenup.
Yeah, like get a prenup, you know? Yeah, but it seemed like their chemistry, I thought, was pretty good. Like,
it would have to be for this movie to be good.
Oh, for sure.
You know, the majority of the film, probably 4/5 of the movie, is just in one room with these two people. The last fifth of it breaks out of the room, but the majority of it is just them talking to each other.
That's what I was saying with the minimal settings.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it all takes place in, like the synopsis said, it's an anonymous hotel room that she has booked, like, on a business trip. So they're both, like, out of their environments, I guess you could say. Like, this is the first time that she's ever done anything like this, and, like, it keeps us very isolated from knowing much about either one of them.
Yeah, I guess going on from the opening, and also from what we're talking about the two characters and, like, how mysterious they are to the audience, I was going through the movie and I kept thinking, like, who is the point of view character for the audience? And I think that it changes throughout the movie. The movie starts from Leo's perspective, as we talked about earlier. I think the audience understands more about what's her name?
Nancy Stokes.
Yeah, the audience knows more about Nancy's life in the first 2/3 of the movie.
Yeah.
And so I think it's easy for the audience to see, or to see her as the point of view character, because he is, I mean, for the first maybe, like, half of the movie, he is very, like, manic pixie dream boy sort of. He's just, like,
oh, for sure, yeah,
the, like, perfect guy, doesn't have any controversial, like, traits or opinions. He's just, like, a guy who exists to please her. And I wondered whether that was, like, the intention of the writer. Like, I thought that the whole movie was going to go on like that, and it was just going to be about her. And clearly that is not the case as the movie went on.
Right, yeah.
I think that was a really interesting decision to, like, make him more interesting but also more mysterious than her.
Yeah, I think it was really smart because, like, to be in that line of work, you kind of have to. You have to hide that part, like, any, like, real parts of yourself, because then, like, it keeps a distance, you know? I really appreciated that we did find more about him. Like, I was always invested in what was happening because it goes back and forth. Like, we know a little bit more about her, and then we know a little bit more about him, and then something bad happens, and then, like, there's a resolution. Like, it feels very resolved, and that it doesn't need to be anything more than what it is in the movie. Like, it's not like they're gonna go on and, like, get married, you know what I'm saying? She just learns more about herself, and he gets to know another person. It's really just about, like, their relationship in this room. Outside of the room, who knows? But you know what I mean?
I do. I think that was, like, true up until the last like 2 scenes of the movie. But I like that they sort of broke out of the room at the end. In the last 2 scenes of the movie, it happens in a cafe in the hotel that they're staying in, or that she's staying in, pardon me. And in taking it out of that room, I think they did a really good job of, like, exploring that what she thought would just, like, stay in that room, like her soliciting sex work from him, in fact, like, doesn't. Like, it persists within both of them after they leave.
Yeah, but it's not like it's not like a relationship, like a romantic relationship, you know what I'm saying? Like, he constantly has been like, oh yeah, my other clients want this and this and this and this, and, like, I'm just here to help you. Like, he's kind of like her therapist at a certain point, you know? Right. I don't know, like, they both get something out of it.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I realized? So one of the 3 characters in this movie, one of her students who is the waitress at the cafe that they're at, is played by Isabella Laughlin, who is in the Harry Potter movies with Emma Thompson. So
wait,
maybe they met each other. She is, like, one of the younger students there.
I do not remember that character.
I recognize her face. That's why I was like, where do I know you? And, like, in the final movies, she was in there. But maybe, that's what I'm saying, like, maybe she met Emma Thompson there, and, like, I don't know. Connections.
I don't know if I've liked any other, like, Emma Thompson movies.
She's kind of like, in my brain, she's, like, typecast as the old Brit lady. Other than like
Professor Trelawney. Yeah.
That was her, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. What was that drama with her? Who is she dating? Hold on. Emma Thompson. Now I just want to know about Emma Thompson. Emma Thompson, dating history. I think she was either dating, what's his name that was also in Harry Potter? Hold on.
Oh, no. Really?
Hold on.
The guy she was in Much Ado About Nothing with?
I'm pretty sure. Hold on.
Kenneth Branagh?
Wasn't she dating Kenneth Branagh? Yeah. Okay, so they were dating from 1989 to 1995. Okay, so they were divorced when she was in Harry Potter.
Wow.
And now she's married to Greg Weiss. Oh, and then Kenneth Branagh went on to date... Oh, no, okay. So here's what happened.
Helena Bonham Carter.
So he was with Helena Bonham Carter. That's what I remember, yeah. And I think they got together in 95. I don't know what movie he was in, but...
It was way before Harry Potter.
He basically cheated on Emma Thompson, I think, and, like, left her for...
Wow.
Yeah. But in my brain, there's only, like 20 British actors, and she's one of them, so...
No, not just in your brain. Let's be honest. The BBC is like 7 families of people. Like giving each other roles.
Exactly.
And then one person joins, and it's like, oh, now we have Matt Smith. Let's put him in every single BBC production.
Yeah, or like Andrew Scott, or
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Or
David Tennant. David Tennant's in everything.
Also, the fact that Rex Orange County went to school with Adele, who went to school with King Cruel. Like, they all know each other. It's all one big family over there.
Exactly.
I mean, this film was only 97 minutes. Like, it's a short watch. Like, I did not expect it to end when it did. But I like that about it. Like, it doesn't need to be longer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it was, like, perfect. It structurally felt, like, longer than a normal movie. Not in terms of, like, runtime.
Maybe it's because of the minimal settings. Like, if you're in one room for... Well, I think that's why it felt short to me. Like, you feel like the scene should end.
Right.
But it doesn't.
It just
because
keeps
they're
going.
only in that one room. Yeah.
I think the thing that made it feel longer to me was that, like, you think when you're starting out the movie, every time there's a new time that they meet up, you think that it's the last time that they're going to be together, right? And then it keeps pushing on, and it's like, oh, I'm never going to see you again, they say. And then the title card comes up, and it's like, meeting number 5.
Right.
And that happens a few times in the movie, and it made me think, like, oh, wow, this is just going to keep going, huh? I don't think that was a bad thing about the movie. In fact, I think it's great that it was able to do all that in an hour and 40 minutes or less. I like the movie on a technical level a lot. I don't think that it's that daring in any respect, but it's very competent. You know, I think that the writing does a really good job of not getting in the way of the characters. And letting them, like, feel very real. I liked the cinematography towards the end when the camera takes her perspective. I think this is about 2/3 of the way through the movie. The camera takes her perspective and starts shaking. Do you remember that?
I didn't notice. When in the movie were you talking about?
When she was, like, feeling nervous. It was before they danced together.
You mean it was a handheld?
Yeah, he was trying to get her, like, in the mood. And she was, like, nervous. And so the camera, for a moment, like, sits in her perspective and is, like, handheld, shaking around a little bit.
That's interesting.
It's like a fisheye lens, a very slight fisheye lens.
I love when films go from steady to handheld. You know that one shot in Knives Out? I've probably talked about Knives Out enough on this podcast, but I literally, if I were a teacher, if I were a teacher, I would teach Knives Out in film school. But you know that shot when Ana de Armas's character is leaving the house, when Marta's leaving and everyone's chasing her, and suddenly, like, she has to rush in the car and it's, like, so crowded, and it switches to handheld, it follows her and it circles her. It's a long take too, and it circles her in handheld as she tries to get in the car. Right.
Because it switches to handheld without cutting.
Yeah,
it was
you can feel it.
Shot,
like someone just grabbed the
like,
camera,
lifts it up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's great.
That's such a perfect movie. Yeah, so they do that in this. It was a cut, but it was still interesting and kind of... They didn't try very hard to be, like, daring, but they did a good job of using the tools when they were needed to progress the story. Do you have anything else to say about it?
I don't think I have that much to say. I didn't take notes on this one because it was a really light watch for me. But I rated it on Letterboxd. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Because, you know, I could see myself watching this again. I would recommend this to, I think, most people. I think it's written really well. It has fun characters. I thought it was good. What did you give it?
I gave it a 3 on Letterboxd. I liked it, and I liked a lot of things about it, but I don't think I would see it again. And I don't know if I would recommend it to a lot of people. I think that it was really good, and I don't regret watching it. But I don't know if it like touched me in any way or made me excited.
Yeah, it didn't like make me emotional or anything. I just thought it was well done. Yeah,
I agree with you. I'm excited to see more stuff that the guy who plays Leo is in, the lead actor.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. I wonder if he's like more of like a stage actor.
He was on he was in stage acting. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean.
right.
Like, he was on whatever the London... West End is, like, London's... Yeah. Best known for his roles in a soap opera. He made his West End debut in 2018 as Brendan in The Lieutenant of Inishmore. What a British title for a play. He's only started acting in 2015. But yeah, I'm very excited for what he does in the future, because he was pretty great in this.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to pop in and remind you all that our website, which is linked in the description, is constantly being updated with new movies and new information. If you want to vote in this year's upcoming Dillies, we have a form that you can fill out there. You can also check out our archive as well as our formal rules and regulations. And please feel free to reach out to us with any suggestions or inquiries. We are responsive through email and also Instagram messaging. I also want to encourage you to share the pod or our website with any of your film friends. We'd love to have anyone and everyone participate and vote in this year's awards. All right, do we want to move to our recommendation section?
Yes, I think that's a good idea. Let's do that.
Okay, why don't you go first? Because I'm still trying to come up with one.
Why don't you go first? Because I'm still trying to come up with...
Hold on. Because I have, like, a few movies that, like, aren't the greatest to recommend. Like,
movies
they're
that came out this year?
Yeah. Movies that came out this year that... Or TV shows that came out this year that are, like, okay. But I haven't... I'm trying to think of one that I really like. You know, I saw Not Okay, which was, It's not bad, it's not good, it's not okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's alright. I think no matter what, we should recommend some form of media from this year. Like, it could be any sort of media, but it's got to be from this year. Like, it could be YouTube, it could be a podcast even, you know?
Yeah.
But I think we should stick to, like, this season of Dillies, like, no matter what it is. I have a recommendation. I have one. Okay. We both came up with recommendations. I think both of ours this week are going to be TV shows, but they're both 2022 TV shows. So they're current things that you can watch. So I'm going to recommend The Rehearsal, which is Nathan Fielder's new show on HBO Max, and it's like Nathan for You, but this time he has HBO money. So it's bigger, it's better, like, it's crazy what he's done. Like, if you've ever met our younger brother Teddy, he does not sit down and watch movies often. But I got him to watch all 3 of the newest episodes in one night. Like, I got him to stay up past midnight, which is not something that you can say often about a thing for Teddy. But I recommend it, to everyone. It's really sweet. It's weird. It's got all the same quirks as Nathan For You. It's just, like, bigger sets and, like, bigger ideas, you know? So, yeah, The Rehearsal is on HBO Max. It has new episodes coming out every Friday, I think. Yeah, check it out.
We have to talk about that after this, and also once it's done, we might have to talk about that on the podcast, because there's so much to talk about with that show.
Yes.
Yeah. I would like to recommend the TV show Under the Banner of Heaven, starring Andrew Garfield. It is
another one of the 50 Brits or 20 Brits.
Right, but he's like a covert. He's like Christian Bale, where he's like accepted into the American family, you know? Like, he plays more American roles than English roles.
That's true.
The TV show is based on a John Krakauer novel of the same name, I believe, and it is about a murder in Utah surrounding a family of varying levels. I'm pontificating.
You're what?
I'm pontificating.
In this economy? Sorry. That wasn't funny. Go ahead.
The movie is based on a book of the same name by John Krakauer. It is about a murder in Utah relating to a family of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints members, all of whom have different levels of devotion to the church and radical religious politics. It's very interesting. It's a fun murder mystery. It's also a fun sociological TV show to just explore like what these characters who are based on real life people talk about, what they think about in relation to their relatively new religion. It's only 100 to 200 years old. Yeah, it was informative and also a really enjoyable TV show to watch. Had me on the edge of my seat the whole time, and I always love watching Andrew Garfield act. So, total recommendation on my part.
Yeah, that's a good show. Okay, you know what I didn't mention? What movie we were talking about? Good Luck to You, Leo Grande. Okay, so yesterday I watched. I was cleaning my room and I watched Two Night Stand. Have you ever seen that movie?
Two Night Stand? No, I haven't.
Okay, it's got Miles Teller and Leo Tipton, and it's like the exact same premise, basically. Like, two people get locked in a room together, and it's like minimal sets. They get to know each other, you know, like they like teach each other things, you know. I won't say too much, but I thought that was really funny coincidence that I watched both those movies.
That reminds me, I meant to ask you.
Yeah.
You saw Malcolm and Marie, right?
Yeah.
How does this movie? How do you like this movie in relation to that movie? What do you think about them in dialogue with each other?
Well, that movie is painful to watch because it's just like two people shouting at each other. Like, it's like people arguing the entire time, and like the cinematography is great. It's very pretty to look at, but like I think the problems lie in the writing. Like, the acting is great, and it's because it's written by the guy who wrote Euphoria, and he's using these actors to tell his own shitty opinions and to like actually talk back at some like reviewers that like said bad things about him, and he's using these actors and like this like money that he has to like get back at them, and I'm like, it feels very petty, the entire thing. But I will say it's very pretty set.
Yeah. So not very similar to this movie, other than
it's not very similar. No.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see it. So.
Just two people in a house, but the house is huge, I will say. So it's like more
really?
settings. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's like worse.
It's like worse. Yeah. All right, well, next week we're gonna try to talk about Nope, because we've been trying to see it. There's a lot of movies in theaters that we're trying to see, but it's kind of hard to coordinate that. But hopefully next week we'll talk about that, and we'll see you next Monday. Or hear you.
Yeah.
Or you'll hear us.
You'll hear us. All right. Thanks for listening.
All right. Bye.
Good luck to you.